Thank you. Thank you. So let's get going. I really appreciate the introduction and obviously have loved Manitech for many, many years. So I just can't wait to share this with you I'm so excited to be with you today. And yes, I've been to South Africa for Manitech in the past and I loved everyone I've met. So I just know you have a great team going there. So I'm going to talk about my favorite presentation I give, which is called Let's Go Natural: How to Truly Take Back Control of Your Health. The wake up call, well, obvious to all of us: without your health, virtually nothing else matters. Not your career, not your savings, not your plans for tomorrow. Yet, right now, millions of Americans, and I'm sure that applies to South Africans, are not taking care of their health. They're losing that health battle. And most don't see it coming until it's already too late. So again, my name is Mary Jo Hillicker. I'm a lawyer by profession, as you know, a certified nutrition coach, and a functional nutritionist. Two more degrees I got after I ended practicing law. I've spent the last 30 years asking one deceptively simple question: why wait until you're sick to start fighting for your health? Today, I'm here not to scare you. I'm not here to wake you up. And more importantly, to give you a real roadmap forward, because the healthcare system isn't going to save you. You have to save yourself. The price tag on being sick. Let's start with the numbers because they're nothing short of staggering. $5.6 trillion projected total US healthcare costs in 2026. 1.35 trillion estimated drug costs alone. $15,474, what healthcare costs per American in 2024. The pharmaceutical companies are thrilled with these numbers. We should not be. And it's getting worse. A December 2025 study found the cost of healthcare and unexpected medical bills have become the number one financial concern for all American families, surpassing even housing and retirement. With continued rollbacks in coverage programs, the most vulnerable Americans face a stark reality. Experts aren't mincing words. As one December 2025 headline declared, U.S. healthcare is broken. Here are 3 ways it's getting worse. Prices are skyrocketing, providers are struggling, and billions are being spent on things that don't help and actively put patients at risk. By 2033, healthcare is projected to cost $24,200 per person annually in the United States. The average in other wealthy nations, about half that. Let's take a look at our prescription epidemic. Here's a number that should stop you cold. 6.7 billion prescriptions are written in the United States every year. That's an average of 19 prescriptions per person per year. Every man, woman, and child. And the cost of that dependency: over 1.5 million Americans are injured or killed by medication errors annually. Properly prescribed prescription drugs are now the 4th leading cause of death in the United States, and that's only counting what's actually being reported. 20 years ago, Nicholas Webb, an insider in the medical industrial complex, wrote about a healthcare perfect storm created by poor nutrition, a treatment over prevention mindset, and skyrocketing drug costs. He warned it would swallow the healthcare industry whole and take a lot of Americans down with it. He was right. We are right on track. John Hopkins' Gerald Anderson put it plainly: the investment in healthcare in the United States is not paying off. Today, 68% of all Americans take at least one prescription drug. More than 26% take 4 or more. And yet, we keep talking about this crisis without acting on it. Not today. Today we act. Medicine New 3.0, the prevention revolution. In Dr. Peter Attia's landmark 2023 book, Outlive, crystallized something that many of us in the natural health world have known for decades. The future of health lies in prevention, not treatment. Attia identifies 4 horsemen diseases that are responsible for the vast majority of premature death and suffering: heart disease, cancer, neurodegenerative disease, and type 2 diabetes. And he argues compellingly that all 4 are largely preventable with the right approach, started early enough. His pillars: exercise, nutrition, sleep, and emotional health. The same fundamentals we've been championing for decades. You have the saying: the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what your body actually needs and what we've been systematically distributing out of our food supply for 100 years. The nutrition gap. You're not getting what you think. Some say you can get everything you need from the food you eat. Again, that couldn't be further from the truth. Not in 2026. I personally grow much of my own food. A vineyard, a peach and plum tree, organic vegetable gardens, multiple fruit garden as well. And I'm 71 years old, never been on a prescription drug in my life, except maybe a short-term antibiotic that I can't remember, right? But only about 5% of Americans maintain outside gardens. And even those who do are likely missing critical nutrients. Why? Because the food supply itself has changed. A 2024 study in Health Magazine described it as an alarming decline in the nutritional quality of foods, calling it the biggest challenge for future generations' health. U.S. Department of Agricultural researcher Donald Davis found that recently grown crops show decreases of up to 38% in protein, calcium, vitamin C, phosphorus, iron, riboflavin compared to the produce from past decades. And that's just compared to recent history. The decline from 40 years ago is far steeper. The culprit? Farming practices that prioritize yield and profit over nutrition, bigger, faster growing crops with a dilution effect, soils stripped without replenishment, green harvesting, genetic modification, and long transport times. Just a few of the glaring issues. Bottom line, if a tomato is picked green in California and driven to Texas, it didn't ripen on the vine. It has a fraction of the nutrients of a vine-ripened fruit and vegetable. And virtually every disease condition comes down to one of two things, either toxicity or deficiency. Our food today is supplying both. The good news, 4 breakthrough nutritional solutions. So let me walk through the 4 categories of nutrients that are foundational to human health and largely absent from the modern American diet. Number 1, glycobiology and glyconutrients, the language of our cells. This is a science discovered almost 40 years ago that is now taught in virtually every medical school in the world. Yet most people have never heard of it. That ends tonight. If you broke your body down to its most foundational element, what would you get? A cell. You have trillions of them. And for any function in your body to occur, heartbeat, immune response, digestion, thought, those cells have to talk to each other. Try this. Raise your right hand and now move your index finger up and down. Simple, right? Your brain sent a signal through your central nervous system down your arm to the fingertip. How many cells had to communicate just for that one small movement to take place? Bunches. Oh, good medical term. Now multiply that by every function happening in your body simultaneously every second of every day. Historically, proteins got the credit for all cellular communication. Then in the late 1970s, a female mathematician made a groundbreaking discovery. It was impossible for proteins to handle that volume of communication. The structure just wasn't complex enough. Scientists threw their hands in the air and went back in to examine the cell surfaces with an electron microscope. And what they found changed everything. The cover of the prestigious Science magazine in 2002 dedicated an entire edition to the discovery of glycobiology. On the surface of every human cell, they found thousands of tiny sugar structures made up of 8 simple monosaccharides, forming tree-like antennae that cells use to recognize, signal, and communicate with each other. These became known as the glycocalyx. Gerald Hart from Johns Hopkins stated, "This is going to be the future. We won't understand immunology, neurology, or disease until we get a handle on glycobiology." At the same time, something interesting was happening in the consumer world. Aloe vera. We've been using aloe for thousands of years. It's biblical, dating back to the 4th century BC. Suddenly, in the late 1970s, hundreds of aloe products flooded the grocery stores. The FDA tested them in the early 1980s. The result? No active ingredient. So they issued a mandate. Find the active ingredient or pull the products. One Dallas-based company hired Dr. Bill McAnally, a renowned research pharmacologist. His lab included an Oxford graduate with a carbohydrate technology degree. And when they did a carbohydrate analysis of aloe gel, they discovered something remarkable. The active healing ingredient in aloe vera is mannose, a simple monosaccharide, a sugar. And mannose happen to be one of the 8 saccharides found in mass quantities on every human cell surface. Every time you put aloe gel on a wound, you're adding a sugar, enhancing cell-to-cell communication and turbocharging the healing process. And many of us have done that for years. Dr. Bill McAnally patented the extraction process and eventually joined a company called Banatech. Together with Dr. Reg McDaniel, they identified natural plant sources for all 8 essential saccharides for cellular communication and developed a product containing all 8 in their active state, ambertose. Originally launched in 1996. Ambertose won the Biochemistry Discovery of the Year award in 1996. The same year, Harper's Biochemistry, the leading medical textbook, added a chapter on the 8 necessary saccharides for cellular communication, which every medical student has studied since. Here's why this matters so urgently today. 100 years ago, we would have consumed these saccharides naturally from gums and saps and mosses and barks and fungi and unprocessed grains and diverse plant foods. God put thousands of those resources on every continent. Then we pasteurized, synthesized, preserved, refined, and commercialized our food supply. Today, most grocery stores contain only 2 of the 8 saccharides we desperately need. The result? Cellular miscommunication. And what group of diseases has exploded in the past 30 to 40 years? Autoimmune disorders. Your body literally attacking itself. Total miscommunication at the cellular level. You cannot achieve optimal health with miscommunication occurring in your own body. The second category is vitamins and minerals. Not all supplements are created equal. You've known about vitamins and minerals for years. But what you may not know is how dramatically our approach to supplementation has evolved and why what's in most bottles on store shelves may be barely helping you at all. The first generation of vitamins, developed 40, 50 years ago, was almost entirely synthetic. Your body wasn't designed to absorb synthetics. Remember taking a vitamin and mineral and smelling it in the bathroom an hour later? That's your body expelling what it couldn't use. Clinical studies confirm that our bodies absorb limited amounts, sometimes none at all, of fully synthetic vitamins. Houston, we have a problem. The second generation improved on this by using fruit and vegetable extracts, products like noni, goji, and aloe vera. Better, but still flawed. Many didn't contain the full spectrum of vitamins and minerals needed, so manufacturers supplemented with, there you go again, synthetics. Others had no standardization, so you never quite knew what you were getting. And many used the bulk of the plant, not just the nutritive parts. The solution? A third-generation plant-based vitamin and mineral supplement that is fully standardized with clinically validated potency and absorption. That product is called Catalyst. What makes Catalyst different? Ingredients are formulated as biglycinates, 2 glycinate molecules bonded to each mineral, dramatically increasing absorption even for people with digestive challenges or age-related nutrient decline. Specifically designed to support healthy blood sugar levels. Contains ashwagandha, a patented adaptogenic formulation, helping your body modulate stress, metabolic irregularities, and immune dysfunction. It also includes alpha-lipoic acid and vanadium, rare microminerals largely absent from modern diets that support normal blood sugar function. Potency levels designed to meet the increased nutritional demands of aging while remaining safe for younger users. A 2025 Harvard Medical School study presented at the American Heart Association even found that daily multivitamin supplementation can slow biological aging as measured by DNA methylation in epigenetic clocks. The science is catching up to what we've known for years. The third category I want to talk about is phytochemicals, the components we've green harvested away. Phytochemicals are the bioactive compounds found in vine-ripened fruits and vegetables. Sulforaphane, polyphenols, carotenoids like lycopene and lutein, mixed tocopherols, bioflavonoids. These are the compounds nature packed into our food supply. The catch? Unless you're growing your own, you're almost certainly not getting them. The vast majority of produce, including most organic food, is green harvested. Phytochemicals only develop fully through vine ripening. A tomato picked green and ripened in a truck is not the same food as one that's ripened in sunlight on the vine. Here's a striking example. Rutin, also known as vitamin P, is essential for your body's proper utilization of vitamin C. Yet most commercial vitamin C supplements contain zero rutin, meaning even those supplements may not be delivering what you think. Catalyst contains a full standardized spectrum of these phytonutrients. Every capsule delivers exactly what's on the label. Every time. You know precisely what you're getting. The fourth category, antioxidants, your cellular defense system. Every single cell in your body is bombarded by an estimated 10,000 free radicals every day. Not like those of you on this call. Free radicals damage cells and accelerate oxidative stress, the biological process of aging and disease. Free radical overload is linked to cardiovascular disease, neurodegenerative disorders, cancer, and chronic inflammation. And the burden is growing, driven by environmental pollutants, ultra-processed food, and chronic stress. The problem with most antioxidant supplements on the market, they're dead on arrival. Literally, green tea is a powerful antioxidant, but the moment it's cut and not immediately preserved, oxidation begins. Most commercial green teas have negligible antioxidant value, and manufacturers aren't required to tell you. Mannatech took a different approach. They studied every society on Earth with documented extraordinary longevity, communities where people routinely live past 100 in good health, working well into old age with no nursing homes. What they found in each culture's diet, in one, tocopherols, a full spectrum of vitamin E, quercetin, bioflavonoids from Italian wine culture, resveratrol from grape skin extract, and green tea properly processed to preserve active antioxidant value. And then there's the Australian bush plum, the highest known concentration of vitamin C of any plant on Earth, so important to the Aboriginal Australians that it was incorporated into their calendar system over 2,000 years ago. These 5 ingredients were combined in Mannatech's Ambertose AO, a scientifically validated antioxidant formula backed by in vivo studies. It's not just for adults. Children are bombarded by free radicals too. This is a product for the entire family. Finally, 5 plant sterols in your endocrine system, reclaiming hormonal balance. Here's a statistic that I believe explains more about the current state of American health than almost any other. I've been in this health industry for over 30 years, and in that time, I estimate that 50% or more of the drugs Americans take today are connected to endocrine system failures. Antidepressants, thyroid medication, diabetic medication, sleep aids. The American Medical Association acknowledges it. All of us are hormonally out of balance. They cite 3 major reasons. Stress. We live in the most chronically stressed society in history. Chronic stress suppresses immune system function and shuts down gland activity at earlier and earlier ages. Number 2, toxicity. We live in the most toxic environment in human history. Toxins don't just store in fat, they store in our glands, disrupting their function. And then nutritional deficiency. And we've already covered exactly how severe that deficiency is. There's a 4th factor few are talking about: hormone contamination in our food and water supply. The growth hormones fed to cattle end up in beef and milk. Birth control pills and hormone replacement therapy release massive amounts of estrogen into the water systems. Estrogen that survives water treatment and returns through our faucets. The evidence is everywhere. Lake Mead water studies found male fish exhibiting female reproductive characteristics. A December 2025 London Sunday Times headline noted that breast reduction surgery is now the most popular plastic surgery among men in the United States, with estrogen in the food and water supply identified as a primary driver. Sperm counts are declining globally. We are chemically altering human biology through our own food systems. The symptoms of hormonal imbalance are wide-ranging: depression, energy crashes, blood sugar dysregulation, hair loss, soft nails, PMS, osteoporosis, hot flashes, anxiety, panic attacks, insomnia, eating disorders. I can go on and on. When you bring these symptoms to most doctors, the response is a prescription: Prozac, Zoloft, Synthroid, insulin, on and on. None of these drugs heal the underlying gland. They replace its function. That's why doctors say you'll take them for the rest of your life. Why not help the gland to start working again? Why not? And why wait for it to fail entirely before we intervene? For thousands of years, as hunter gatherers, we ate plants that contained plant sterols, plant hormones every single day. Remember Genesis 1:29? It tells us, I give you the herbs on earth as your sustenance. We were designed to eat this way. Today we eat Cheetos, Doritos, and what I call Banditos. That's the rest of what's found on grocery store shelves that I can hardly recognize as food. Plant sterols are, for the most part, gone from our entire store shelves. Manitex Plus provides these essential plant sterols that is supporting the glands of the endocrine system so they can begin functioning properly again. And let me be clear, this is not just a woman's product. My husband had so many hormonal cycles, I made taking Plus mandatory in our household. If you or anyone under your roof is dealing with hormonal issues, the endocrine system needs support. Your choice, your future. So let's bring this home. Today we've talked about one thing. At its core, it's simple. It's called real food. Glyconutrients, vitamins and minerals, phytonutrients, antioxidants, and plant sterols. These aren't exotic supplements. They are the nutrients your body was designed to receive daily from your food supply. We've engineered them out of our diets. The solution is to add them back. Supplements used to be optional. They are no longer optional. They are mandatory. The only question is whether you choose the ones that actually work. The National Institutes of Health says there are only 2 reasons Americans fail to achieve the vitality and longevity they were meant to have. Number 1 is ignorance, not having the knowledge. Guess what, people? You no longer have that excuse. You've heard the information today. The second is complacency, knowing and choosing not to act. Now, that choice is entirely yours. Don't become a statistic. Take back control. Feed your body what it was designed to receive. You came today, you listened, now you know. The next step is yours to take for yourself, for your family, and for the generations coming behind us. Thank you for being here today. Now let's live this life in grand fashion and pay it forward.